This is the Schmo with the pro, with the hardest working man in the MMA business, the future Hall of Famer, Chael Sonnen, the good guy in the flesh, here at the Forum. How we doing?
Having a good night, man. We saw the World Championship. Cris Cyborg, I got to tell you, your first time in a new organization, you generally don't fight as well as you can. If that was true tonight and that wasn't a full Cyborg, come on, that's pretty scary.
Fourth featherweight crown in 4 different promotions. Where does that put Cyborg in the Mount Rushmore for greatest female fighters of all time now?
Oh, come on. There's 4 people in the Mount Rushmore, and I think there's only 2 or 3 that you could even argue. You got Cyborg. I think that Ronda, because of her marketability, earns a place, and of course, the real GOAT, Amanda.
So who's 2? Is it Ronda or is it Cyborg?
No, I think it probably goes between Cyborg and Amanda, and I think that's just on a willingness to fight.
So Ronda's 1?
Oh, no, I would put Wanda in 3 in that order.
Gotcha. You're clarifying for the Schmo. Now talk to me for a second. Last week over there at the UFC, we saw a different Conor McGregor. He was more calm. He wasn't trash talking. Do you think this is the kind of Conor McGregor that's going to be sustainable for a successful second run at doing these things big time here in MMA?
Well, your approach is so important, right? We've seen guys that are stoic, like Fedor, like Crow Cop would come to mind. We've seen other guys that are intense and have to be angry at your opponent. Conor has always fit into that. So this was almost an experiment of sorts. Hey, let's see if I can go out there calm. Let's see if I don't have to manufacture conflict. That's what he did. I would say the experiment was pretty successful.
And you think he's going to be doing this long term?
I don't know. I mean, listen, he's a marketing genius. I think that Conor largely tells it like it is. Maybe he turns the volume up a little bit. He's got problems with Khabib. I think he would tell you that. He probably would have problems with Kamaru or a Diaz or a Masvidal. I think he liked Cowboy. I think he respected Cowboy, and that's what he showed.
You're someone who knows how to put on an act. They're talking about all these welterweights. Now, if you're in a situation like Colby Covington and you're all in and you just come off a loss to Kamaru Usman, what kind of Colby Covington are we going to see outside of the cage as he's preparing for his next bout?
Oh, I think we're already seeing it. Listen, Colby offers no apologies. Again, Colby's one of these guys that's turning it up. I think Colby's pissed off and has a chip on his shoulder. And if we learned anything from the Usman-Colby... Colby... Help me out here. Colby Covington fight. My goodness, I know this guy since he was 9 years old, but I'll tell you this. I mean,
Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, Oregon, that's right. Long night, right? But I'll tell you in all fairness, if Kamaru proved that he's the best in the world, and he did, Colby proved that he's the next best thing.
Yes. Now, Chael, how do you do it, man? You got to balance with ESPN, UFC. Here we got the Zone, Bellator, Paramount. How do you get the best of both worlds, man? You're the luckiest guy and the hardest working guy.
I'll tell you what, it's really not all that hard of work, but I sure do appreciate that compliment. That would make my father proud, so thank you for saying it. Largely, I just have to put a suit on and talk about what I see. The other guys do the action.
Let's be real. Justin Gaethje, he's not getting the fair end of this stick, man. Or is he? What's his future entail? Who should he be fighting right now?
Well, according to Gaethje, he's going to sit in the batter's box in case anything happens to Khabib and Tony. I think that that's pretty wise. Khabib and Tony has fallen apart 4 times now. They're putting it together 5th, so I think that's wise for him to insert himself. I haven't heard anybody else make that argument. So it seemed to me, even by default, if nothing else, that's where he sits. But Coach Kavanaugh just came out and said he would like to see Conor fight Gaethje at 170. That has my interest.
Does that make sense for Justin, though, 170?
No, I don't think that it's a helpful thing for Justin, but look, this isn't about a championship anyway. It's not even about a contendership. It seems that this is a personal piss-off, and he's upset with Conor McGregor, so let's go solve the problem.
Dana White, he's already come out and talked about a lot of different things and a lot of different scenarios. A lot of it doesn't entail Tony Ferguson winning this fight against Khabib. Why is a lot of people not giving Tony Ferguson a shot here?
Well, let's talk about who is giving Tony a shot, which is Khabib himself. Khabib himself came out and said, I have been undermotivated for the last number of years. I am now remotivated because I recognize that Tony is the biggest threat to my crown. So as far as Tony getting his respect, I think he's getting it.
What's one fight that you want to see in 2020, Mr. Sonnen?
You know what? I'm very interested in the trilogy fight. I'm talking about heavyweight. Daniel Cormier, it's going to be his retirement fight versus Stipe Miocic. Stipe's out allegedly with like an eye injury. Yeah, for an indefinite period of time, so I really want him to heal up from that. But what a great trilogy we could have. It's very rare that you get a trilogy, particularly in the heavyweight division. I don't mean just a third fight. I mean a true trilogy where they have split the first 2 and now they got to figure out in a best of 3.
He's not a bad guy. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. At Bellator 238, we're out.
Really, really well done, I must tell you.